So this program is in between Wingi, Makueni and Machakos. We are trying to change people's attitudes from the belief of growing maize to growing of these high-value crops. We are calling them traditional high-value crops that will give us energy and also fight food insecurity. That is basically what we are doing.
You don't have to do anything. That's what we do.
Actually, they are doing that.
So yes, sir.
Ask you, as the leader of government business, to prioritize the information from the
community forest associations.
So we have been working with communities. So far we've been able to
I would like to invite the ACT CEO to briefly just welcome us and also give us his opening remarks.
Your Excellency, the Vice President and Minister for Home Affairs of the Republic of Kenya, Hon. Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Mr. Adas Longquest, Head of Development Corporation, Embassy of Sweden in Kenya, Mr. Aristea Fan, DFID Head of Office, and Dr. Virida Sharma, the Climate Change Advisor, DFID, our partners, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's with great pleasure that I welcome you all to the launch of Changieni Rasilimali facility. The Changieni Rasilimali facility has been made possible from a 4-year grant from the government of Sweden and the British people through the UK aid. It is designed to directly contribute to the realization of the Vision 2030 goals by facilitating the participation of citizens and marginalized groups in the governance, management, and sustainable utilization of resources, natural resources in Kenya. CRM facility makes a significant contribution in helping the country move towards sustainable development goals. Indeed, this is the central pillar of the CRM facility, which, as many of you know, is being managed by ACT. ACT, Your Excellency, is a Kenyan NGO specializing in capacity building and grant management and advocacy, allowed 4 focus areas, namely the environment and natural resources, peace building, democracy and governance, and women empowerment. As you will note, the exclamation mark, which is a key element of our emblem, points to the urgency with which we need to act. Your Excellency, the objectives of the facility are threefold, namely to improve the technical and organizational capacity of non-state actors to deliver their mandates in the environment and natural resources sector, and secondly, to improve the participation of citizens and marginalized groups in governance, management, and utilization of natural resources, and thirdly, to improve policy and legislative environment for sustainable natural resources management at national and decentralized governance structures. Ladies and gentlemen, structured participation by citizens and marginalized groups has been a notable gap in the country's effort to realize sustainable development. In this regard, ACT is committed and ready through the facility to work with government, the private sector, and other civil society organizations to ensure that people, especially the marginalized, are at the center in the governance of natural resources going forward. Thankfully, the new constitution creates greater opportunities to address this gap. The challenge for us all is to remain vigilant and ensure the letter and the spirit of the constitution is brought to life through the enactment of all the relevant legislations and policies. This facility could not have come at a better opportune time. The country is going through far-reaching governance changes never witnessed in our 50-year history. We shall have not just the national government, but 47 county governments with considerable resource allocation and powers to effect development, but hitherto had been the reserve of the central government. acts considered advice to those who will be privileged to take over leadership at the counties is to integrate environment in their priorities for development. Sustainable development is only possible when, as a nation, we deliberately agree and commit to put environmental issues at the core of our governance architecture and development agenda. This entails moving the environmental issues from the bottom of the list to the top of the agenda. Counties must therefore be at the forefront in reversing environmental degradation that has bedeviled the nation for decades. One of the quick wins is to immediately put in place a policy and a legislative environment that promote citizen participation and equitable sharing of benefits that accrue from natural resources. I am happy to note that under the CRM facility, stakeholders have already begun consultations that will lead to a draft policy on benefits sharing from the various natural resources in the country. At ACT, we emphasize an integrated and long-term approach to development that embraces building and nurturing relationships with various stakeholders around various elements of natural resources management, including and not limited to land, water and sanitation, agriculture, climate change, and environmental conservation. The CRM facility we are launching today is built on this belief. One lesson we have learned, at which I would urge development stakeholders, county governments in particular, to be aware of, is that development always originates from the people themselves. It can never be imposed from outside. What we can and must do is to build the capacities of individuals and communities, help them create leadership structures, and inspire them to believe in themselves. Often, what communities need is technical know-how, the appropriate technologies, and support infrastructure so that they can accrue benefits through sustainable utilization of resources that abound in their environment. The CRM facility also provides an opportunity to further enhance the participation of women in environment and natural resources management. Through our work, we have witnessed thousands of women across the country rise from degrading poverty to lives of dignity by helping them to better participate in the management and sustainable utilization of natural resources. Your Excellency, on behalf of ACT and CRM facility implementing partners, I would like to reiterate that we are prepared and ready to work with the government and other partners to realize Vision 2030 goals. And I'm also happy to note, and up to now, we have 47 civil society and community-based organizations already financed under this facility, with the programs ranging between 1 year to 3 years, spread across 32 out of the 47 counties. And it's our considered belief that in the years to come, we will be able to have representation in all the counties. We shall make our contribution through the CRM facility and through our other platforms wherever we work in the country. With those remarks, I welcome you to this event and wish you and our invited guests a great experience with the CRM brand. God bless us all. God bless Kenya.
It's amazing that we are actually launching this program, which is focusing on natural resources within this period of Jubilee, when we're entering Jubilee on the 12th of December, the 49th in Kenya. So we're glad in that. Now, before I invite Eddie is a passionate young lady who is going to sing one song, and then we'll invite the two guests to speak, and is mostly going to sing a song on Mau and the environment.
Lamkeni wa Kenya jamani, lamkeni wa Kenya jamani. Misitu ni yetu, ni nguzo yetu sote wa Kenya. Mau ni mnara wa maji, maji nayotupatia uhai. Samaki baharini, ndege wanaopangani, amkeni wa Kenya, tuhifadhi misitu yetu. Simba mwenye nguvu, bahari ya Kenya, akanyaga kwa mada na vishinda simba wezi. kuhifadhi msitu mau kwa watoto wa Kenya, pia kwa vizazi vijavyo, na kwa maisha ya wanyama wetu. Jamii wa Kenya, rasilimali yetu hii, hakika kwa kweli tumebarikiwa naye Mola. Tena nahimiza, tumetunukiwa naye Maulana. Msitu mau, maisha yetu yote ni yako wewe. Msitu mau, maisha yetu yote ni yangu wewe.
I appeal to you, dear Kenyans. Save the Mau complex. Preserve Mau, our largest water town. Save our Simba's habitat, the pride of Kenya. Safeguard our future. Ni yako, ni yangu pia. Ni yako wewe.
Save Mau, save, preserve.
Ni yangu wewe.
Save, preserve, save, preserve.
Ni yako wewe.
Save Mau, save, preserve.
Ni yangu wewe.
Save, preserve, save, preserve.
Ni yako wewe.
Save Mau, save, preserve.
Ni yangu wewe.
Save the Mau.
Ni yako
Oh,
wewe.
Mau.
Ni yangu wewe.
Oh yes, we are the green generation.
The green generation.
Sing it, we are the green generation.
The green generation.
No, Mau, 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 Mau.
The green generation.
Mau, 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 Mau.
The green generation.
Our forests, our Abuko Sokoke, Kakamega, Mount Kenya, Karura. Sing it, say it, Sema, Imba. Sing it, say it, Sema, Imba. Sing it, say it, Sema, Imba. Sing it, watoto, Sema.
Green generation.
Say it, Sema, sing it, watoto, Sema.
The green generation.
Our inheritance, our land, for the children and the children's children.
The board, management and staff of ACT, Changieni Rasilimali CRM facility partners, distinguished guests, particularly partners from the UK and Sweden, ladies and gentlemen, I'm truly honored to have been invited to this very important function. You must have noticed I was asking a lot of questions, asking each one of you from Mandera, from Kaiti, from Nakuru, wherever. Some of you even trying to plant sorghum and mawele. I asked you whether you know what mawele is, because that is stuff I grew on and very nutritious. But you used to fight with birds. I think the birds think they have the first option and then us follow. You are working at the grassroots to change this country. Environment, because all of us now are conscious of what is going on in the world. I'm sure a lot of you will have heard of the Kyoto Protocol, which has yet to be renewed. We went out there. I was actually chairman of COP10 when we had it here in Nairobi, and then people went to Copenhagen and been everywhere, Durban, and not much happening, but everybody feels a sense of urgency when it comes to environmental degradation and the change that is clearly here. But flying around our country in the last few days, last few weeks, I keep on getting the sense that we haven't actually realized the grave danger that you are in. And looking at you here, you are the real change agents. I like it very much. You talk about acting, changing, and then transforming this country. But change must begin with each one of us, and then transform this country so that we will be able to realize our own potential and destiny. Therefore, I want to thank you. I had here prepared some speech, but after listening and seeing, I have decided not even to read it, because it's talk about the Constitution 2 years ago. Who doesn't know Kenya has one of the most progressive constitutions in the world. And in this regard, we beat the British because they have no constitution to refer to. Yeah? And so, all of that, I will leave this speech with the management of ACT and really encourage you to go on and thank our partners. I know it looks like the government bit is left out. I want to pledge that we will catch up with you. We will have to do the best we can. And I'm happy that some of the government ministries and departments are actually represented at this meeting. One thought that disturbs me is I heard over the radio that now the Department of Forestry, and you know we have now completely transformed the management of the Kenya Forest Service. I heard that they have now legalized charcoal trading. That anybody can now, provided you don't transport charcoal at night, you can go out there and cut as many trees as you can. This is truly disturbing. And I would like to talk to the Director General, because one time I had to call him and say, please do something. Because you now see lorries and things and going out there to areas that are already under threat of desertification. And that is where everybody is burning charcoal in Kitui County, where Bwana Kalua comes from. We need to raise the red flag here. And please, Department of Forest Service, help us out. Don't just make it worse than what it is. The best way is to manage our forests the way we've just been demonstrated before us, grow many more trees, and manage how we actually harvest those trees. But not to go for natural forests and cut down everything, burn charcoal. That is how we have this approaching desert. Well, people from Mandera, thank you. You're trying even to make sure the River Dawa is not polluted. Pollution. Just go out here. I want to challenge all of you. After you leave here, go to what used to be the Nairobi Dam. There's a whole estate there. There used to be a wonderful yachting club, yacht club. And what is there, what is actually happening now, some pilot told me, in the next few days, they will be actually now growing an estate. There will be an estate over what used to be Nairobi Dam. And yet, I remember my friend Wilfred Kiboro, then CEO of the Nation Media, and other people, the Prime Minister and others got together. I was Minister for Environment, and we tried to say, let us save the Nairobi Dam. Instead of saving it, we are actually losing it faster than we even ever began. And there was a lot of money set aside for that purpose. I want to ask you, please go and act over Nairobi Dam. These are the real things. These are the real things that we need to do. The late John Mechuki did quite a lot in trying to have the Nairobi River look a bit presentable. Today, in fact, every time I overfly the river, and imagine what is happening downstream with all the pollution coming out of the Dora area and all of it going into the river, and people are irrigating. You see children swimming downstream. You want to cry. We have to do something. Please act. Let us all of us need to act so that we can reduce pollution. Because then we need to be able to move out of this wonderful facility and go out there and soil our hands like you are doing. And I think that asking about how much each of you is receiving, 15 million, 20 million, 10 million shillings, I think going forward we need to get a lot more actors going out there to make a difference. May God truly bless you and bless this wonderful land. I'll therefore give you this speech, whatever it is worth, because my two friends from Sweden and the UK are here. They might want to make reference to it, because this speech is just saying the obvious. But I've seen the real change agents. It was President Barack Obama who said, be the change you want to see. And you get out of here, out of our comfort zones, and change this country and transform it. If we don't act and in time, I'm telling you, our growth in terms of population per capita is unmatched anywhere in the world. My little boy this morning came to me, he's a student in university, said, I just want to give you a piece of statistic, Dad. And he said, yes, please do. He said, in 2006, there were 30,000 university graduates from all of our public universities and private universities. 2006. Now, and in the last 3-4 years, is 100,000. And if you want to know that these are the people actually selling hardware on the streets, these are people, graduates, out there, just pulling carts and selling. They are angry. And yet, we sit and feel very comfortable. I want to suggest that all of us as Kenyans feel absolutely uncomfortable with the current situation. If we do not transform and transform first, everything is catching up with us. Unemployment, growing poverty levels, these are things we talk about. And this is why some of us are determined in the next few weeks and of course by March next year to be able to get into places where we think we can then take on the bull by the horn and change this country and transform it. May God bless you. Congratulations.